Dear Diary, several weeks ago in our staff meeting at Waypath Church, we learned about Gary Chapman's 5 love languages, which are quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service, and receiving gifts. In the meeting, we learned the ins and outs of the 5 love languages, and we learned which language each staff member had. As a zealous team member that cares about the welfare of his fellow employees at Waypath Church, I sought to show my care for them by loving them in a way that was consistent with their love language. This proved to be more difficult than I intended. Each love language was hard to demonstrate. Well, except for the love language of gift giving. No one at Waypath Church cares about getting gifts apparently, which makes me wonder what our staff does on Christmas and their birthdays. So I sought to demonstrate the love languages. Knowing that my boss, Tate, and our sound technician, PJ, both have the love language of physical touch, I tried to give them physical touch in a way that didn't look too fruity or weird, since we're all dudes. I mean, the Apostle Paul told the church in Corinth to greet each other with a holy kiss, so it couldn't be that hard, right? Boy, was I wrong. A hug longer than a hearty amen felt weird, and a side hug made me feel like I was a homeschooler again. I even tried to give them a patty whack on the gluteus maximus, like after a big football play, but that sure didn't feel like a touchdown. It just felt like I touched down on uninvited territory. So to compromise, I decided to try to learn specialized, elaborate handshakes for each one of them. Maybe they would feel my affection through that. But trying to memorize those bad boys was harder than trying to remember everyone's love language in the first place. I mean, shoot, some of our staff, like Clark and Emma, didn't even know their own love language. While trying to avoid making inappropriate expressions of physical touch, I ran into another problem on the other extreme. Some people, like our HR manager, Donnell, does not like expressions of physical touch at all. Now I'm not sure if I can give Donnell a high five, a fist bump, or even an uninvited eye contact. Did you watch the game last night?
Dude, it was the best game I've ever
Donnell's
seen.
coming! Donnell's coming!
Let's just say that demonstrating love languages the first week was not a huge success. Moving on to the next week, I tried to show the love language of words of affirmation to our worship pastor, Brandy, and our lead pastor, Ryan. I figured it wouldn't be that hard to encourage Brandy because all he probably ever hears is how the worship music is too loud, too soft, or not anointed enough. But I think I overdid it when I wrote him a poem with a stanza for each year he has served in ministry, which we all know is 30. Roses are red, violets are blue. Pastor Brandy, we love you. I think reading it to him took so long that it made him late for a meeting he was already going to be late to. Well, you can't win them all, so I figured I would shoot a better shot with Pastor Ryan on words of affirmation. Knowing now that Ryan likes clear and direct words of affirmation, not fluffy mumbo-jumbo, I decided to compliment him and tell him that he was an average pickleball player. Let's just say he didn't jump out of his seat with excitement. Man, another week of no love language success. Well, actually, I think I'm nailing it with my coworker, Kenzie. Acts of service is her top love language, and she pretty much declared in our meeting that talk is cheap and should be saved for when you're dead. I haven't talked with her since that meeting, so I'd say I'm on a roll.